Once again, we are really grateful, Sheikh Nabil Awan, for blessing us with his presence and with his knowledge. We would like to start around this time daily, so if you can just try to make it a little bit by 7:40 at least, that we can start at 7:45, then Maulana won't have to rush in his speech. I would like to request Sheikh to please come and take the pulpit. Please read the last salawat for him. Muhammad.
ما شاء الله لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل، نعم المولى ونعم النصير. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله قاسم الجبارين وبير الظالمين مدرك الحاكمين، والصلاة والسلام وتحية والإكرام على النبي الأمي المكي المدني الهاشمي الذي سمي في السماوات بأحمد وفي الأرضين بأبي القاسم محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى أهل بيته الأطيبين الأطهرين، سيما أولهم أمير المؤمنين وآخرهم بقية الله في الأرضين، روحي وأرواح العالمين لتراب مقدمه الفداء، ورحمة الله على محبيهم ومواليهم وشيعتهم أجمعين، ولعنة الله على أعدائهم ملعونين. Amma ba'd, for the happiness of Hazrat Zahra Marziya, for the enlightenment of the graves of Yawm al-Amin, of the graves of the Shuhada, Ulama and Siddiqeen, for the safety of the followers of Ahlul Bayt around the world, and for the safety and the hastening of the reappearance of Hazrat Baqiyatullah al-A'zam Arwahun al-Fida, please recite your loudest salawat. All praise is due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one who is Rahman and the one who is Rahim. The one that has given us the opportunity to once again observe the holy month of Ramadan, the month of spiritual progression, the month of ascension, the month of witnessing the divine light within ourselves and upon the horizons. It's an honor that I get to spend this first half of the month with you, brothers and sisters. It almost didn't happen, but thankfully the visa came through at the 11th hour, and we made it. The topic of discussion that we have chosen, that will begin from tomorrow, is an analysis of Nahjul Balagha, a moral and akhlaqi analysis of Nahjul Balagha, viewing the moral aspects of Nahjul Balagha and looking specifically at the highs and lows of our lives, the troubles and the difficulties that we go through in our lives, and seeing how Hazrat Amir explains them. But that will start from tomorrow. Today I wanted to look very briefly, in the short amount of time that we have left, at the holy month. What is it that we're actually looking to gain from the month? What is it that we're looking to achieve from this holy month? Because this is the peak of our spiritual journey. This is the pinnacle in the year of that spiritual journey towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A journey that started in Rajab. We began that spiritual exercise from Rajab. It intensified in Sha'ban, it reaches a half a pinnacle on the 15th of Sha'ban, and then it reaches its peak on Laylatul Qadr. What is it that we've achieved so far in our spiritual journey? Because it starts in Rajab. See, Laylatul Qadr isn't something insignificant. It isn't something that, it's like something that I come to and I tick a box and I say, right, I've recited Surah Dukhan, I've recited Surah Al-Ankabut, I've recited Surah Al-Rum, I've done the 100 rakat namaz with such speed that I don't even know what I was reciting. Maulana doesn't know what he was reciting, and all I know is my nose is bruised and my head hurts. Yeah? Is because essentially that's what happens, right? Laylatul Qadr becomes this tick box for us, that I must do this, I must do this, I must do this, but nowhere in it do I actually focus on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I focus on all the rituals, but nowhere do I focus on the actual aim, the actual maqsad of Laylatul Qadr. It's to see, it's to witness, it's to feel that salam, that peace. Hatta, until the time of Fajr. That peace that descends upon the earth. To be able to write my destiny, to confirm my destiny. See, Rajab, we started laying the foundations, we started sowing the seeds. And in Sha'ban, it starts to grow, that plant, that field that we've planted starts to grow. On the 15th of Sha'ban, we reach a peak. See, on the 15th of Sha'ban, we also say that destinies are written. And sometimes we question that how is it possible that destinies could be written on the 15th of Sha'ban and then written again on Laylatul Qadr? What is it? Sayyid ibn Tawus explains this. He says in the 15th of Sha'ban, the destiny is written, but it is written on Lohe Mahab wal Ithbat, the erasable tablet. It's written in draft form until Laylatul Qadr. So what you did on the 15th of Sha'ban has now been written in draft form on Lohe Mahab wal Ithbat, the erasable tablet. Then an individual is monitored from the 15th of Sha'ban until Layalil Qadr, that how has he fulfilled the promises that he made on Laylatul Qadr. Oh Allah, forgive me, I won't do this sin again. Has he repeated that sin before he reaches Laylatul Qadr? Oh Allah, help me in this. Help me get to concentration in prayer. Has he started to pray? Has he tried to concentrate in prayer? So from the 15th of Sha'ban, the person is monitored until the 19th of Ramadan. Now on the 19th, within there, sometimes even Laylatul Qadr we distinguish. We say 19th, 21, that's the day, the next day we'll go to work, no problem, that's fine. We'll do the short a'mal. 23rd, that's the proper Laylatul Qadr. That one's the proper one. That we'll do the long a'mal for and we'll take the next day off work. Because that's the proper one. But actually in reality, if you look at it, we have narrations that say on the 19th, again the draft form is revised. On the 21st night, on Laylatul Qadr, again that draft of the 15th of Sha'ban and the 19th is revised, and here the book is compiled and it is sent. And on the 23rd night, the Imam of the time signs off the destiny of the person for the year. Not that the 19th is a sort of a practice run for the 23rd, or the 21st is just us stretching out so that we can get ready for the 23rd. No, each and every one of these nights is essential in that journey towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That we start on the 15th of Sha'ban and we continue to grow. Even the Imam of our time, before that Laylatul Qadr arrives, the narrations say that the Imam embarks upon a 3-month spiritual program to be able to take the Amr that will descend upon him on Laylatul Qadr. Because that Amr, that revelation that comes from Allah is not something small. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Holy Quran when He speaks about revelation, لَوْ أَنزَلْنَا هَذَا الْقُرْآنَ عَلَى جَبَلٍ, that had we revealed this Quran upon a mountain, you would have seen it turn to dust. you would have seen it annihilated. The only thing that can bear the strength and the weight of the revelation of God is the heart of the Holy Prophet. When he would be sitting upon a ride, upon a donkey or a camel, the narration says that if the revelation came, the knees of that ride would buckle under the pressure of that revelation coming upon the Prophet. His face would become red and he would become all constricted and tight as that revelation was coming upon him. It's not something insignificant. It's not that he just sat there and Jibreel came and whispered. No, this revelation, when it came, it was of great force and pressure upon the Prophet. In the same way, when this Amr comes on Laylatul Qadr, it is something that is of great pressure upon the Imam. And so he embarks upon a 3-month spiritual exercise to be able to take that Amr on Laylatul Qadr. And in the same way, me and you should be embarking upon that spiritual exercise to achieve the pinnacle, achieve what is available to us on Laylatul Qadr. I often say to people, when they go climbing mountains and we take trips and people come on and they sign up to our trips to go and climb the mountains, and we teach various skills in the mountains. And people come and we say, have some level of fitness beforehand so that you're ready to be able to climb this mountain. And people, you come, and every year we have some people who don't get ready. Some people think, it'll be okay. And so what happens, we get halfway up, and now they can't breathe. They're, hyperventilating. They've got headaches. Now they need to go back down, and so someone has to go back down, or we have to turn the whole party around. So they never ever reach the peak. And then they come back the next year saying, no, I want to go and I want to try and reach the peak. I want to try and reach the peak. And so then they come back again. But again, they're not trained themselves physically. So they only reach halfway again. And all they see is clouds. It's the same thing with spirituality. It's the same thing with Laylatul Qadr. It's the same thing when we go on the ziyarah of the Imam. People go every year, year in and year out, for the ziyarah of Abu Abdullah. And they stand at the haram and they say, Assalamu alayka ya Abu Abdullah. Year in and year out, they never hear the reply, Wa alayka salam. Why? Because we haven't prepared ourselves spiritually. We never reached that pinnacle. We only ever trained so much. So now when we reach Karbala, now when we reach Samarra, now when we reach Mashhad, and we go and we do our du'as and we're doing our ziyarat, we come away thinking, I don't know, maybe I'll try again next year. I want to go next year because I didn't feel, maybe it wasn't accepted. But when I prepare myself for that ziyarah, and I know that I'm going in 4 weeks, and I start regularly praying my Salatul Layl, I start seeking istighfar, I soften my heart. Now when I go to Karbala, even if I go every single year, tears will flow from my eyes. You get some that go every single year. Some, I'm not saying you, obviously not, but there are some that I've seen that go every single year. And so now when they go, everything's done in super speed. They're like, no, we have to go for this ziyarah, then this ziyarah, come on. We haven't got time, let's go like this. And those that are first timers, they never get to understand, because those that are so regular, for them it's become second nature. And now, that tear doesn't even fall when they see the haram of Abu Abdullah. That tear doesn't even fall when they sit in the haram of Amir al-Mu'mineen. Now they look for excuses not to go and pray Fajr in the haram. Now they look for excuses to do something else. Why? Because there was never that mental and spiritual preparation for that journey. Because going for the ziyarah of Sayyid al-Shuhada is not something insignificant. Kamandar Allah fawqa arsh. It is as if the person has done the ziyarah of God upon the arsh, going to Karbala. But that for Muharram, when we come back. That we'll discuss at that point. Just to highlight that the journey, we can only achieve the pinnacle of what Laylatul Qadr has to offer if the journey begins now, or if it had begun in Rajab, and at the very least now that we realize. So we begin the journey now, that the following nights that precede Laylatul Qadr, and after that I'm never going to miss my Salatul Layl. I'm going to recite Salatul Layl. I'm going to recite Dua al-Sahar. I'm going to recite Dua al-Baha. I'm going to recite Dua Abi Hamza Thumali. Because all of these, and your nights are a lot longer here. You know, in England, our Fajr is 2:30 in the morning, and our Iftar is at 9:30 at night. So 2:30 and 9:30. So our night is a few hours before we have to start it. But you have a long night. A night where a person can stretch it, sleep for part of it, then wake up and enjoy and take benefit from the time of Sahar. Because in reality, this is the only time, at least in my life, that I benefit from the time of Sahar. I think that Sahar is only in Shahr Ramadan, you know, because that's the time to eat. Whereas Sahar is there all year round. And it's the time when Allah is bestowing the most amount of mercy upon His Abd. But by and large, the ibad, they're asleep. This is the month of change. A month where we can achieve spiritual heights. But only if we put ourselves into that mindset. The Holy Prophet of Islam, Aminul Mu'mineen, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says that خطبنا ذات يوم. The Holy Prophet came and said to us on one day, he gave us a khutbah. He said, أيها الناس إنه قد أقبل إليكم شهر الله بالبركة والرحمة والمغفرة. What has come upon you is that month of God, a month filled with barakah, with blessings, with mercy and forgiveness. شهر هو عند الله أفضل الشهور. A month that next to Allah is the best of all months. Speaking about Shahr Ramadan. أيامه أفضل الأيام. Its days are the best of days. ولياليه أفضل الليالي. And its nights are the best of nights. وساعته أفضل الساعات. And its hours are the best of hours. هو شهر دعيتم فيه إلى ضيافة الله. It is the month where you have been invited to the banquet of Allah. You have been invited, not you chose. You have been invited to the banquet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَجُعِلْتُمْ فِيهِ مِنْ أَهْلِ الْكَرَامَةِ اللَّهِ. And within it is the month of blessings from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. أنفاسكم فيه تسبيح. Your breath, your breathing in this month is tasbih. It is constantly saying subhanallah for you every time you breathe. وَنَوْمُكُمْ فِيهِ عِبَادَةٌ. And your sleeping within it is worship. وَعَمَلُكُمْ فِيهِ مَقْبُولٌ. And your actions within it are accepted. وَدُعَاءُكُمْ فِيهِ مُسْتَجَابٌ. And your du'as within this month are accepted. And so then Amirul Mu'mineen, he turns around and he says to Rasulullah, says, Ya Rasulullah, مَا أَفْضَلُ الْأَعْمَالِ فِي هَذَا الشَّهْرِ. What is the greatest action that a person can do in this month? This is Amirul Mu'mineen asking the Holy Prophet. Says, what is the greatest action that a person can do within this month? The Holy Prophet replies, Ya Abul Hasan, أفضل الأعمال في هذا الشهر ورع عن المحارم الله عز وجل. Says that the best action that you can do within this month is not the 100 rakat qadar salah of Laylatul Qadr. is not the recitation of Surah Dukhan, it's not the recitation of Surah Al-Rum, it's not the recitation of Surah Ankabut, it's not reciting this many thousand tasbihs, it's not the completion of the Quran, it is not the reciting of Salatul Layl and everything. The greatest action within this month, the Holy Prophet says, is abstaining and staying away from those things that Allah has made haram upon you. Staying away from all those things that will take you away from Allah, those things that are sins. A simple formula that we often complicate. A simple formula that is easy for each and every one of us to follow. And if we chose to abstain from sin throughout the whole month, we'd be able to achieve great heights on Laylatul Qadr. We'd be able to feel that Laylatul Qadr. On the first day, the dua that we recited, because there are du'as to recite on every single day, and each day we ask for something different from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I want to look at the dua of the first day, just so that we can place ourselves in that mindset that we're now into the third day and getting ready for our fourth. But what is it that the mindset should have been at the start of the holy month? The dua of the first day, we say to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we say, Allahumma ja'al siyami fihi siyam as-sa'imin, wa qiyami fihi qiyam al-qa'imin, wa nabbihni فيه عن نومة الغافلين وهب لي جرمي فيه يا إله العالمين واعف عني يا عافيا عن المجرمين. We say the first thing that we ask for, Allahumma ja'al siyami fihi siyam as-sa'imin. Oh Allah, make my fasting from amongst the fasts of those that fast, those that are accustomed to fasting. Not those that just fast in these 30 days. As Rajab sets in, the dread starts building. Oh no, Shahr Ramadan is coming. And then as 13th of Rajab passes and we get to Sha'ban, we get more and more agitated, more and more anxious that Shahr Ramadan is coming. How am I going to go to work? What am I going to do? My schedule's going to get disrupted. I have to eat late. I have to wake up early. We start getting concerned. But there are certain people, there are three types of fast. The first type is the one that is hungry and thirsty. That is the person who gets up for sahar, eats, lives a normal life as he would on a normal day, looking at those things that he would look at, listening to those things that he should be listening to, speaking those things that he shouldn't be speaking. And then comes to the time of iftar and eats and goes to sleep. He's just hungry in between the morning and the night. And the fast is only the period between two meals for that individual. This is that individual that will try and look for something that will not make him feel hungry. We'll start researching things on the internet like slow release carbs. I need to eat this in the morning so I don't feel hungry through the day. So by the time I get to iftar, I'm not that hungry. I need to eat this fruit, need this vegetable so that I don't feel thirsty through the day, keep my potassium levels high by, eating my bananas and avocados and things so that I'm not thirsty. And having those carbs, slow releasing carbs so that I'm not hungry, at least till 2 or 3 hours before iftar, then I can bear it. See, here's the news flash. You're supposed to feel hungry. That's the whole point of it. You're supposed to feel the pangs of hunger. You're supposed to feel what it feels like to not have food in your stomach. But that is the first type of fast. being hungry and thirsty. The second type is the individual now that is hungry and thirsty, but to some level restrains himself from sin, doesn't look at those things that he shouldn't look at, doesn't listen to those things that he shouldn't listen to, doesn't say those things that he doesn't say, at least until the time of iftar. Then after iftar, it's free game again. Go from Fajr until Maghrib, perfect Muslim. Come iftar time, and then the ghibah starts. Why did he lead such a long salah? What was that person thinking doing such a long Awan? Oh, who made this food? It's so chilly. So these people, they don't know how to organize anything. This. And everything that he gained in the month, in the day, lost. That's the second type. The third type is now in line with what the prophetic tradition says and what the tradition from the sixth Imam says. Where the Imam says, if you want to fast, فَلْيَصُمْ, then fast with your hair, with your skin, with your bones, with your eyes, with your ears, with your tongue, with your very existence, your very wujud. That should be fasting. That is the siyam as-sa'imin. That the person who is fasting with his very existence. That's what we asked for on the first day. When we said, oh Allah, make our fast from amongst those that fast with their very existence, their hair, their skin, their bones, their eyes, their ears, their tongues. Everything is fasting. It's not uttering ill, it's not listening to bad, it's not looking at haram. It is the very existence is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The second thing that we asked for, وَقِيَامِ فِيهِ قِيَامِ الْقَائِمِينَ, and make my standing, not just any old standing, Qiyamul Layl. This is in reference to Salatul Layl. Says Allah, make my night prayers from amongst those that establish the night prayers. Make me from amongst the people that take part in Qiyamul Layl. Those individuals that enjoy those long nights so that they can converse with Allah. Not think, oh man, Laylatul Qadr is going to be difficult with such a long night. See, those night prayers, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Furqan, He refers to those individuals when He talks about Ibadur Rahman. He says, الَّذِينَ يَبِيتُونَ لِرَبِّهِمْ سُجَّدًا وَقِيَامًا. They are those individuals that stand in the middle of the night in qiyam and sajda in front of their Lord. That's Ibadur Rahman, the righteous servants of God. When they capture the companion of Amir al-Mu'mineen, and Muawiyah says to him, Sufli Abul Hasan, tell me about Ali. He replies to him, says, Ashhadu billah ya Muawiyah, laqad ra'aytu fi ba'di mawaqifi, وقد أرخى الليل سدولا وقد غارت نجومه وهو واقف في محرابه قابض على لحيته يتململ تململ السليم ويبكي بكاء الواله العديم وهو يقول يا دنيا غري غيري. He says, oh, I swear by Allah, O Muawiyah, that on a number of occasions I would see when the night was passing, the stars had disappeared, وهو واقف في محرابه, Ali would be standing in the mihrab, كابض على لحيته يتململ تململ السليم, shaking, crying like a man bitten by a venomous snake. يتململ تململ السليم ويبكي بكاء الواله الهدين وهو يقول يا دنيا غري غيري. And in this state that Ali would be wailing and crying in the middle of the night, he would be saying, "Oh dunya, go and deceive someone else, because Ali is not to be deceived." We follow that Imam. Then how is it possible that I do not love to recite Salatul Layl? That Ali, that when he was struck and taken back to his home and he looked towards the rising sun and he said, "Oh son, bear witness that you have never seen Ali sleep, but Ali has always watched you rise." قيام الليل وقيامي فيه قيام القائمين, and make my standing in this month, in the night, like those that recite regularly Salatul Layl, your close ibad. And then we asked Allah, وَنَبِّهْنِي فِيهِ عَنْ نَوْمَةِ الْغَافِلِينَ, and awaken me from my sleep of inattentiveness, that sleep where I am unaware, that sleep that makes me forget the mercy of God upon me, that autopilot mode where I stand to pray and then I get to like the second or third rakat and I think, what rakat was I on? Did I do 2 sajdas? I can't remember. Ghafla. Inattentive. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the hadith al-Mi'raj, he says, "Ya Ahmad, ajibtu min thalathat al-abid." I'm shocked at 3 groups of my servants. The first group we'll only look at today because we don't have time. Abdun dakhila fi salah. That servant that enters into his prayer and he knows who he's standing in front of. He's cognizant of who I am. He knows who he raises his hands in front of. وَهُوَ يَنْعِسُ. But he's inattentive. He's sleepy. He's tired. He says, I'm shocked. And the shock of Allah is not like mine and your shock. Our shock is that we don't understand something, something which out of nature, out of the ordinary. Brother Mehdi starts flying all of a sudden in the middle of the hall. Shock, because it's out of his character. He doesn't usually fly, at least not amongst the people. So it's out of character. That's what brings the shock about in human beings, because we don't have knowledge, but Allah has knowledge of everything. So now when Allah says, "Ajibtu," I'm shocked. He has the knowledge. He says, I understand everything, but I'm still shocked at this individual that I've shown him everything. I've shown him all the paths towards me. But he's still inattentive. He's still unaware. We're unaware of the blessings that Allah bestows upon us. In Dua Iftitah, every single night we have been reciting and we will continue to recite. This is a dua, by the way, that has been narrated to us by the Imam of our time. That the one that recites it, he will be surrounded by the Malaika. If I claim to be the follower of my Imam, then at the very least, this is one action that I can start within my life. It's such a beautiful dua. But that state of ghafla, we talk about it. فَكَمْ يَا إِلَهِي مِنْ كُرْبَةٍ قَدْ فَرَّجْتَهَا. My Lord, Ilahi, my Lord, that I believe worthy of worship. How many sorrows of mine have you dispelled? وَهُمُومٍ قَدْ كَشَفْتَهَا. And how many of my sins, my slips, have you overlooked? وَعَثْرَةٍ قَدْ أَقَلْتَهَا. And how many of your mercies have you spread over me? وَرَحْمَةٍ قَدْ نَشَرْتَهَا. How many mercies have you spread over me? وَحَلْقَةِ بَلَاءٍ قَدْ فَكَكْتَهَا. And how many misfortunes have you unlocked for me? Have you removed for me? I'm becoming cognizant. I'm becoming aware. I'm becoming attentive of the fact that Allah, throughout my life, no matter how much I want to complain about it, He's been helping me the whole time. But in my inattentiveness, I've chose not to acknowledge it. In fact, not just have I chose not to acknowledge him, but I've rejected him. Because later on in the dua we say, Ya Rab, innaka tad'uni fa'uwalli ank. You invited me towards you, and I rejected you. You invited me towards you, and I rejected you. No one that is sitting here today came of their own free will and accord. You're here because Allah has called you here. Saying, maybe my abd may just turn back to me today. We may have come thinking that, no, Fulan is sponsoring the niyaz today, and so I have to come because they called me. Or today I've heard that this niyaz will be served in Ghadir, so I've come for that niyaz. This is the mercy, this is the rahmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He says, look, even if your excuse is not for me, even if you've come to the center not for me, come, you just come for the niyaz, you come for the person that's called you. I know you haven't come for me, but just come, I'll let you come. Maybe, just maybe, you'll turn back to me. Maybe this abd of mine will sit and think of something about their life and turn towards me. So he allows us to live in that false thing that I've come out of my own free will because this niyaz or this person called me or that speaker's coming. But it's not the case. He invites us to give us an opportunity. Where else do you find? فَكَمْ أَرَ مَوْلًا كَرِيمًا أَصْبَرُ عَلَىٰ عَبْدٍ لَهِ. He says, where else can I find a master like you that is so patient upon his wretched servant? That constantly this servant sins over and over, and still he gives me opportunities to come back towards him. إِنَّكَ تَدْعُونِي فَأُوَلِّ أَنْكَ. You called me, you invited me, I rejected it. وَتَتَهَبَّبُوا إِلَيَّ فَأَتَبَغَضُوا إِلَيْكَ. You showed me love, and I showed you hatred. وَتَتَوَدَّدُوا إِلَيَّ فَلَا أَقْبَلُ مِنْكَ. And you showed me mawadda, you showed me undying love, and I chose not to accept it. كَأَنَّ لِي تَطَوَّلَ عَلَيْكَ. It's as if you're overreaching towards me, as if you owe me something. Allah is so merciful, He's coming constantly. Today, if you were to go to someone and they called you and you turned away from them, tomorrow would that person call you? No. So forget him, he's arrogant. Don't need to listen. Doesn't want to listen to anyone. I'm not going to call him. Man is that individual that if once you ignore him calling you on purpose, or even by accident, he will hold the grudge against you for the rest of his life. But Allah is that Lord that constantly He calls us, constantly He invites us, constantly I turn away from Him, and He comes and He's constantly showing as if He owes me something. But yet I owe Him everything. This is the mercy of God. فَارْحَمْ عَبْدَكَ الْجَاهِلِ. So have mercy upon this ignorant slave. وَجُدْ عَلَيْهِ بِفَضْلِ إِحْسَانِكَ إِنَّكَ جَوَادٌ كَرِيمٌ. Bestow upon him your beneficence, for surely you are the generous and the kind. This is the mercy of Allah. This is the month of mercy. The nights of development. The nights of change. The nights of analyzing our lives. That what path is my life taking? What is it that I want to achieve? All of those opportunities that God has given me, have I chosen to take them? Tomorrow we begin the analysis of Nahjul Balagha, the moral aspects, the akhlaqi aspects from the eyes of Amir al-Mu'mineen. What he talks about opportunities leaving. What he talks about shame. What is he talking when he talks about loss? How should we feel? What is happiness? What are the secrets of happiness according to Amir al-Mu'mineen? What should we be sad on? What are we sad on? All of this we'll discuss in the coming nights. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive our sins. Pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgives the sins of our parents. Oh Allah, those of our parents that are alive, give them long lives. Those of our parents that have left this world, give them a place next to Ali Muhammad in Jannah. Oh Allah, those who are ill, give them shifa. Those who are in debt, clear their debts. Oh Allah, those who are in education, make them successful. Oh Allah, keep safe the Shia of Ali Muhammad around the world. Ya Allah, destroy the enemies of Tashayyu around the world. Ya Allah, keep our ulama and our maraja at the head of our institutions. Ya Allah, hasten the reappearance of the Imam of our time and allow us to be amongst his true muntadhareen, his true awaiters for the acceptance of these du'as and any other du'as of the brothers and sisters abroad. Please recite 3 loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad.